If Red was the main character in Pokemon Scarlet, could he conquer the entire game? To find that out, we're going to be playing as Red in Scarlet version and using only Red's team to see if the original main character of Pokemon can beat Paldea. To make things a tad more fun, we're going to be making sure to only play in set mode and we aren't allowed to heal during battles, with our main goal being to complete the whole game using only Red's Pokemon. So if you are ready, let's go. Hey there, Mother. You look far more high definition than I remember you looking like. This outfit is a massive downgrade from my usual stuff, but oh well. All of these starters are nothing but
worthless compared to my starters. My lovely little babies. Papa misses you.
All right, Red, what starter will you be choosing? Red? Is he okay? Little does he know, I shit my pants. I'm not choosing any of these, Clavel. I have a better fire lizard in mind. Throw that Cocoa Lizard into the trash where it belongs. Charmander is the only starter Pokemon I require. And after a quick battle against Nemona, where our Charmander wins after only 2 mere embers, we talk to our mother who gives us a sandwich instead of a jelly donut. And then we head towards a cliff because the game has no Squirtles in it, so I might as well just yeet myself. Yeah, yeet. You don't look like Squirtle, but you're close enough, so from now on, I shall name you Sir Squirtle, the mightiest ninja turtle. Wait, wrong franchise. Me and Sir Squirtle make our way out of the cave and run into the previous owner, Gary. No, wait, never mind. It's Arvin. Cute name. Ooh. What's coming over me, dude? I'm Red. For crying out loud, I need to act cool. ... I don't think you're supposed to actually say ... out loud. Ignore him. You know what you're doing. Against Arvin, we do struggle a certain amount, given that he has a chubby chipmunk with him, but after a few embers, he also falls. And now Red's adventure in Paldea can finally start. We'll make our way towards Mesagosa, as we need to go there before we capture any of the other available Pokemon for our team. And the fact that we did 0 leveling is why we actually end up losing our second battle against Nemona. I mean, she has a Pokemon more than us and even uses Terrestrialization, so it's kind of unfair in my honest opinion, but then again, I'm the same guy who forced a poor kid to battle me after climbing a giant freaking mountain. Man, it was cold up there. We had to eat Venusaur to survive. Poor guy never saw it coming. Either way, we enter Mesagosa and run into some criminals, or actually some half-baked bad guys. Is this really the bad guys you have to deal with in this region? They look like the extras from the Beat It music video. I mean, back in my day, the villains looked like Italian mobsters and actually did messed up stuff. Like, how do we downgrade this much? Well, we take on and defeat the bad guys, and then it's time to pick up all the different tasks that we'll be completing around this vast region. Oh, and hey, Sir Squirtle, how you doing?
I have inner darkness that is fueled by my deep desire to see booty.
I wonder what's going on in his head. So now that we have all these different tasks, it's about time we head into the wild and start doing some of these gyms and missions that can be found all around Paldea. We start by heading towards the city of Cortondo, where we'll find our first challenge. Now we are actually able to find Pokemon to add to our team, and we run into a Scyther, which would be perfect for our team, as Red uses a Scizor in his team during Pokemon Stadium 2 at the Gym Leader Castle, and he even receives Blue Scyther during the Adventures manga, so we have fair reason to capture it. But, however, this thing is way too high right now in terms of level, so we'll have to come back for this fella sometime later. So instead, we go to Cortondo, where I spend quite some time searching for an Eevee that should be spawning around Cortondo. We don't find a single one.
Blast you, RNG gods.
So instead, we do the Cortondo Gym Challenge, where we gotta push giant beans. Man, these things just keep getting worse. Afterwards, it's time to take on the gym leader of this location, also known as KATY, who specializes in bug-type Pokemon. And I did go into this battle with some fear that we wouldn't be able to beat her and that we're not going to be strong enough, just because our little Charmander is alone in this case. But my fears were easily quelled as we spammed Ember against her first 2 Pokemon, Nimble and Tarantula, who both fall to our
Charmander's fiery flames.
However, when Teddiursa came in, we were a bit more scared about them. However, the best thing ever happens.
We get to burn, baby.
Now this is good, as the Teddiursa is using physical moves against us, and the burn will cause its overall damage to fall. So we're able to defeat it and get our first gym badge in a single try. And hey, guess what? Along this, we also gain some levels, and guess what? Our Charmander evolves into a Charmeleon. I did kind of accidentally nickname our Pokemon Charmander, so it's always going to be called that. Let's just ignore that, shall we? So what do you guys think? What is a protagonist that should show up again in Pokemon Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in the future? Let me know in the comment section down below. Finally, we find Eevee to add to our team. We can either evolve it into an Espeon or evolve it into a Jolteon, as both are used by Red at some point. However, since we can also capture a Pikachu, we're going to be going for Espeon in this case. And then we make it on our way over towards the Stony Cliff Titan Cloth, which is of course rock type, so it's going to be a risky one against this big fella. But lucky for us, we now have
Dragon Breath.
so we should smoke some dank Kush boys onto this big fella as he gets paralyzed, and now all that remains is to finish him up with the help of Arven, and we've completed our first Legends Path challenge. And hey, look at that Growlithe, which we can capture, as Red actually also uses a Arcanine in his team during different games, so we're going to be adding this bad boy to our squad right away. Even though we do have another fire type, this one could come in handy with the extreme speed and close combat later on, whenever it evolves into Arcanine. Then we head into town to take on Brassius, a guy who clearly has not had enough sleep. My dear lord, what is going on? This isn't missing, no? This is much worse! Ah, my face! First of all, we gotta go catch some Sunflora. Noot noot! Alright, here it is, the battle against Brassius, the grass-type gym leader of the Artisan Gym, who has had less sleep than me. Man, I need a break. This battle should be relatively easy, as Brassius uses grass type, so we hit them hard and fast with the help of Charmander to Charmeleon, with only about 2 embers each being needed for the Petalilli and the Smoliv. However, Sudowoodo still has some dreams and ambitions of being a grass type for whatever reason, so we're gonna put a stop to that. We do a decent chunk of damage to him with an Ember, and a Dragon Breath gives us the paralysis, but a Rock Throw comes in and takes our boy Charmeleon out. So we switch in Growlithe with the Flame Wheel, which is not enough to take it down, and another fat Rock Throw comes our way and leaves us with only 1 Pokemon left in the squad, that being Eevee. So we use a double quick attack and survive a Trailblaze from the Sudowoodo, and as such, we've now taken out the second gym, and we have our second gym badge on this journey. And guess what? Once we head outside, we level up our Eevee and evolve this little fella into a
Epic
looking Espeon, since Red actually uses Espeon in his team during Stadium 2, which is actually something used in the second round of Stadium 2, and he even uses a Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, which, damn, that's just nuts. Now that we sorted that out, I have to climb another mountain. Hopefully this time I won't need to eat any of my Pokemon, though that Growlithe is starting to look like a pretty sweet meal. We make it to the top of the mountain and have ourselves a fated battle against the big bird ruling the skies, the Sky Titan Bombardier, who I forgot is partially dark type, so I went for confusion, and that cost me the Espeon. So instead, Charmeleon with the Rock Throw comes out and does some sick damage before it is finished up by a Flame Wheel. This was a very close battle, I must say, but also kind of terrifying given that this thing is massive. So that is that. Now we can actually swim around, and hey, Sir Squirtle, that's so good. Now you can feel water again.
Water makes me feel good.
Next comes our first and biggest hurdle in this challenge run. We come across the first Team Star base belonging to Giacomo and the Dark Squad, which we kind of lack any decent moves or typings against. So this is where we kind of get things a bit more complicated for us. First, we speed through and beat the living hell out of Giacomo's weaklings and grunts, but then when it comes to the actual battle against Giacomo himself, we run into a freaking wall, and his Starmobile takes us down super hard, man. It's just not that easy. And at this point in the run, we can't do anything. We are pretty much stuck. So we try to rebattle Giacomo multiple times, but no matter how many combos we go for, and even different TMs and different moves, it just doesn't work, and we fall each time. So instead, we make our way over to Cortondo, looking for a Pikachu to add to our team. And of course, it's an iconic part of Red's team, which will be joining us and helping us out, so we add Pikachu to the squad. And since Giacomo is so difficult, we actually go over to Levencia to take on the most annoying gym leader, and frankly, very mid-streamer, Iono. All right, freak, stop talking to me and give me a challenge. Okay, I didn't say for you to whoop my ass, but fair enough. Okay, so we're having a hard time, but fear not. Remember, that Scyther? Well, we're about to go back for our boy. And so we capture Scyther and add the boy to our team, and it's about time we get our hands on it. And yes, there is actually a Scyther that's owned at some point by Red, or actually a Scizor, but that's besides the point. It's time to go and take on Giacomo. This time around, the battle is in our favor, as we have a large team, and also with Scyther on the squad, we have the type advantage somewhat as well. The Pawniard falls to a Fire Fang from our Charmeleon, and then we send out Espeon, which uses Charm, as it will actually lower the attack of the Starmobile, and since this thing uses some physical moves, this will help our team stay alive longer, as it will keep us from, being outsped and stuff like that. So yeah, either way, it's just a good situation. But fear not, Scyther is here with the Fury Cutter, and with several hits, we eventually defeat the Starmobile, which means we have our first Star Boss team victory sorted and done. Next up, though, is Levencia Gym again. Hey again, you pestering monster. But either way, that does not matter, because we are here to battle you. The electric-type gym leader, Iono of Levencia. Let's take her on. First up is Watchroll. Here we go for Pikachu, which hits the Electro Ball 3 times and takes Watchroll down. Next, however, is Luxio, where we get a few Electro Balls off before the Bite takes out our Pikachu. So we send in Scyther against the Luxio next and finish it with a double hit before the big boy comes out. And here we hit it with a double hit and do a decent chunk of damage before Scyther actually falls. So we instead send in Espeon to finish it with a Psybeam, leaving only the Miss Magius left to go. So we get one bite off before Espeon dies to Hex, and we now have to go with Growlithe, which gets actually Confuse Raid, but kind of ignores that, and we get 2 Fire Fangs off to give us the big dub, the big W, boss man, and we have our 3rd gym badge now. Hey, Director Clavel, you kind of look like one of those Japanese biker gang dudes. Well, it looks like we have another Team Star boss to go now, and it's going to be the Fire Squad's Mela, who focuses on Fire-type Pokemon. But before we battle her, we did also make sure to give a Baby Doll Eyes to our Espeon, a move which will actually always kind of outspeed and go first, and what it does is lower the enemy's attack stats. So we make sure to put that on there, as it's about time we head in and take on Mela. First we get hit by her Torkoal, but thanks to Static on our Pikachu, it paralyzes it, and then our Pikachu falls out, but we switch in Espeon, and with a Mud Slap and a Psybeam, which is perfect as it takes down the big guy pretty fast. And next up is the Starmobile, which is a fire type as well, so we'll have to have a bit of a hard time here. But either way, here's what we do. We do an amazing job. We start with Mud Slap, which lowers the accuracy of the Starmobile. Then we go for a triple, I really mean a triple Baby Doll Eyes, because this thing keeps missing, and it just can't seem to hit us because of that one Mud Slap. So we hit it again with a Mud Slap, so its attack as well as accuracy is super low at this point, giving us a perfect opportunity to finish things up with a double Rock Tomb that comes in from our boy right here and gives us our 2nd victory against the Star Squad bosses. I mean, hey, Penny, I gotta tell you, you created one of the softest and most useless squads in all of Pokemon. I mean, congratulations. However, you are still better than Team Yell. They were just so bad. We then head to the East Province to take on the giant Schlong Pokemon, which honestly looks super derpy.
I must have it in my team.
Lucky for us, this big Orthworm is a Steel type, so we just have to rely on our Fire types to just finish it up pretty fast. And with the help of a few Fire Fangs and Flame Wheels, there we go. Then, Arwen shows up again and gives us a helping hand. Horrible joke. We defeat the lurking Steel Titan, and now we have gained another ability, which is to jump higher, which will also allow us access to certain areas much easier. And hey, Sir Squirtle, what's wrong? You feeling okay?
I must consume souls to satisfy my hunger, human.
You seem to be doing okay. We do some fast leveling before reaching Cascafara, where we're looking to take on the water-type gym leader, Kofu, who loves spices and all things water types. But he seems to be more interested in yeeting himself away than actually battling us. So instead, we go to the Delibird shop in Cascafara, which sells a lot of items. We purchase Leftovers, an item that restores small amounts of HP each turn, and give it to our Scyther, and then we also buy a Firestone to evolve our friend Growlithe into a freaking Arcanine. And we also learn Extreme Speed, which will be super useful as it is priority and it's super fast, and it will come in handy if we're battling a Pokemon or an enemy Pokemon where it's super low HP and we just need to outspeed and win. We then head to Kofu and scam him for 50 grand. I mean, hey, not my fault you want to give me a bunch of cash. I'm just a kid. And we get it by promising him that we'd buy him some seaweeds or some shit. I mean, I don't really care, dude. Screw that. We just want that cash, boys. Okay, he seems a bit pissed that we took his cash, so I guess he wants to whoop our team now, but we got this. His Veluza is out first, a brand new Pokemon introduced in Scarlet and Violet, which is, I think, Psychic Water type. So we hit it with a few Sparks, and it falls. Next are the Imposter Dog Trios, also called Wug Trio, which take down Pikachu with an outspeed headbutt. So Scyther comes in instead and finishes them up with a wing attack, but then he sends out his ace Pokemon, Cramominable, which takes out Scyther, so we rely on the rest of our team to chip away at its health, and Espeon ends up outspeeding it and defeating it using 2 Psybeams, which gives us our 4th gym badge, which means we are halfway through this journey as Red. Man, as long as I don't need to climb another mountain, I'm happy. Also, why did somebody leave a water pulse on this ledge? Like, why? We then skip and hop our way to Medali to battle everyone's favorite gym leader, Larry, who honestly looks like he hasn't had any sleep in a while. But either way, he's also a normal type gym leader who, frankly, if I'm gonna be honest, is insanely difficult to beat normally. So let's see how we do. But first, we gotta order some weird menu items, which I've never seen before. I thought jelly-filled donuts were the strangest possible thing, but I guess there's weirder stuff in the world. Larry sends out Komala, who hits us with the yawn, but we do take it down with a double wing attack from Scyther. But we do get put to sleep, so that's not the best of situations. Instead, we switch Scyther out to save it for later, I guess, and we instead send out Arcanine, which has Intimidate, which will lower the Dunsparce's overall damage. And man, they really made the Dunsparce the most annoyingly powerful Pokemon ever. And also, dude, they couldn't have done a better design for Dunsparce's evolution. They just made it larger and gave it an extra butt. It's just weird. Either way, Arcanine falls after only getting a few hits in, and we have instead to send out Charmeleon, and here we get a hit with Glare that paralyzes us, and we somehow, and this is so frustrating, we don't get a single move off. We end up being paralyzed, or paralyzed by the paralysis, so many times that we end up losing Charmeleon. But finally and thankfully, Espeon's Psybeams take the Dunsparce down, leaving only the Staraptor left to go, and this fella is a pure pain in the soul. We survive the first Facade and use Psybeam, and then we go for Baby Doll Eyes to lower its attack, attack stat, since it's a physical attacker, and since Baby Doll Eyes outspeeds, we managed to get it off before it takes down our Espeon. And honestly, it's really thanks to that Baby Doll Eyes, which we're allowed to actually win this battle, because we send out Pikachu, and it survives a hit from Facade, which it normally wouldn't, and we get the Discharge off, and we're able to get the freaking Paralysis. And so now, it can't outspeed us no matter what we put out there. So when Scyther, who's actually asleep at the moment, comes out, we're able to tank a hit, and we even get the Paralyzed Hacks as Staraptor misses its attack, and we're able to get Cypher to wake up and hit off a single wing attack, which is able to take the Staraptor out, giving us the victory, which is freaking amazing. So that's another badge. So Larry, want to have a drink?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, Nimona, you were not the person I wanted to see today, and I don't really want to battle you, so I'm just gonna get out of here real quick. So where are we going next? Not again.
Not a freaking mountain once more.
Not as cold as Mount Silver, though, not gonna lie. Now, we won't be battling the Montenevera gym just yet. Instead, we're going to head down the mountain to the other side, where we'll find the Poison-type crew, who will be the biggest challenge so far. We defeat the annoying little kid in front of their base and also take out all their 30 grunt Pokemon as well. And guess what? Then we also lose our first battle against Atticus, the leader of the Poison crew, who specializes in, well, Poison-type Pokemon. We actually lose the first time. So since that was the case, instead of, since we couldn't defeat him, we decided to go and level up our whole team and get some new moves. And also the biggest possible thing happens, which is our Charmeleon evolves into a freaking Charizard. And oh my dear lord, Charizard, you've had a massive glow up since I last saw you. Like, damn, you used to be pixelated and shit, but I mean, you look good now, not gonna lie. So now that our team is ready, we go in and start the battle against his Skuntank. Of course, we have our boy Scyther here. He does get poisoned, however, but we do defeat the Skuntank to start with. And then against the Muck, we do a little bit of damage with Wing Attack, but eventually Scyther dies. Pikachu comes in with a Discharge, which does a lot of damage as well, and leaves the Muck on only about 1 HP or so left after about 2 hits of Discharge and Spark. So Charizard has to come in and finish things up with a Flamethrower, and luckily we don't get poisoned here, so that is really good, because Charizard will be needed against the Starmobile. Here, we get hit one time by a critical hit, which is really annoying, so we go for Rock Tomb to lower its speed, and a Flamethrower to do as much damage as we possibly can. However, Charizard dies, so Espeon comes in, gets poisoned, but does get about 2 Psybeams off, right? Like, so freaking good. 2 Psybeams, and then it dies as well eventually, leaving only 1 HP left on the Starmobile. So Arcanine with the Extreme Speed, which I mentioned earlier, the Extreme Speed will be really useful, comes in and gets the W, ladies and gentlemen, and there it is. We defeated another one of the star bosses, which means there's only about 2 left to go, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see how those go once we reach them. So after finishing things up with Atticus and the Poison crew, it's time for Red to take on the Montenevera gym with the spooky rhyme. Actually, there isn't really anything spooky in this region for some reason. I don't really get it. I mean, in Kanto, we literally have a tower for the deceased Pokemon. And here you have a concert instead. Seems a bit disrespectful if you ask me. First double battle through Shaggy, and then it's time for Rhyme and the Ghost-type leader of the Montenevera gym. So, her team starts off, of course it's going to be a double battle, but she kicks off with a Banette and a Mimikyu. Here in this case, we go for Flamethrower and a Wing Attack on the Banette to get rid of it, because we realize that we should just go one by one. So, Houndstone is out next. Same thing here, we go for Flamethrower and a Wing Attack with our Scyther and Charizard, and that deletes it straight away. Toxtricity is up next, which is its ace Pokemon on Rhyme side here, but same thing here. We literally keep spamming Flamethrower, air slash, wing attack, whatever, and it keeps taking them down, leaving only the Mimikyu left to be taken out with a wing attack and a flamethrower, meaning we got ourselves another gym badge. Not the penultimate just yet, but hey, you got, about 6 badges now. Now that we finished that, we have to go and deal with the big boy causing havoc in the desert. And here we take it down, the Quaking Earth Titan, with the help of Scyther and Charizard again, which now give us the ability to actually glide with Sir Squirtle. It's going to be very nice. Then it's time for the Psychic type gym, where we first do some yoga, which goes all right. And then before we take on the gym, we go and get a metal coat for ourselves in Levincia City. We give that to Scyther, and let me make a real quick call. Hey, yo, Blue.
What do you want, twerp?
Do you mind trading my Scyther back and forth so I can evolve it?
Sure, but you owe me one, all right?
Sure thing, Blue. Sure thing. And hey, look at that, guys. We got ourselves a Scizor now, which of course Red does use in the Pokemon Stadium games, so it is allowed. And then it's time to battle the fanciest looking gym leader in all of Paldea. Also, why is that butterfly ornament on her shoulder like flapping? Is it from the wind, or is that thing alive? She starts off with a Farigiraf, which we have the advantage against with Scizor, so we go for a double Exeter, which takes it out, but next is Espathra, which outspeeds us with a Shadow Ball and does a lot of damage. We don't manage to take it out with just a single Exeter, and I mess up by not using Bullet Punch here, which would have outsped it. But either way, we still win the battle against it using only, Scizor in this case. And so when the Gardevoir comes out, we make sure to go for the Bullet Punch, as Gardevoir is a Fairy type and will hit harder with that. And of course, it has the advantage on it. So we one-hit KO it, and that's that. And as for Florges, we get one Bullet Punch off and then try to go for an Exeter, but we don't outspeed it, so we end up losing Scizor. But the buddy did an amazing job anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Because Arcanine comes out, and with a single crunch, it is pretty much all that's necessary to destroy the Florges and give us our penultimate gym victory. And now we only have one more badge to go to get in our hands. Oh, hey, look, those look more like what I remember Pokemon being like back in my days, kids. We slide right back up the mountain, and it's time for us to take on the Ice-type leader, Grusha, who's gonna take us on a wicked ride, bro. First is Frostmoth, that falls to a single flamethrower, and Titan is out next, but here we aren't able to defeat it right away with Charizard, so we switch in Arcanine with Flare Blitz, which takes down the Titan, and Beartick also goes down to a single Flare Blitz as well, leaving only one Pokemon last to go, which is Altaria, that comes out, and we hit it one time again with the Flare Blitz and just finish things up with a Bullet Punch from Scizor, which gives us our final 8th gym badge, which means we can take on the Elite Four next. However, given that I'm a big boy and want to complete everything within the game, let's slither our way to the Fairy type camp. We need to deal with some sketchy old man first, and then beat 30 grunts before it's our time to battle Ortega, the Fairy Squad's leader. So the thing with Ortega is he uses mainly Fairy types, so to say, and he starts with Esmeralda, so we try to Swords Dance, but he hits us with Charm, which lowers our attack, so it's kind of pointless. So we send out Pikachu just to die, and Espeon to go in with the Psychic. We do take a play rough, but it doesn't really matter because the Esmeralda falls. Then there's a Dushboon who takes us down as well, so instead Scizor comes out with the Bullet Punch, and then there's a Wigglytuff, and here what we do is we go for 2 Swords Dances. The reason for this is we can boost our attack and make sure that every Bullet Punch is pretty much a one-hit KO, and that's exactly what it is. So the Wigglytuff goes down, and only really the Starmobile remains, and guess what? We hit this bad boy with about 2 Bullet Punches, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've defeated the Ortega Fairy Squad boss. Now that the Fairy Squad has been beat, we only really have 2 things left to do: the Dragon Titan as well as the Fighting type squad. However, we're going to start with the Dragon Titan first, and also there is 1 spot left on our team which we're going to fill up with the help of the best boy ever, aka Dratini. Yes, baby! You see, in Pokemon Stadium, Red actually uses a Dragonite, so we can add Dratini to our team after capturing it. So who left their sushi on the floor?
Me.
We Swords Dance with Scizor many times over and over before we defeat the false Dragon Titan. Then he, of course, escapes per usual, so we follow it with the help of Arven and send this big fella to the barbecue. And I guess this sketchy dank Kush is about to make Sir Squirtle climb shit, so hell yeah, dude. And since Dratini is not fully evolved, we make sure to level it up a few times so it evolves into Dragoneer and eventually freaking Dragonite. Alright, so only 1 task left before we finish up our journey. We gotta defeat the Fight Crew's Eri. Now her grunts fall quickly, and then it's time to take on and defeat the final team boss star herself. So Eri is up first, and we of course kick off with none else than Dragonite. We get hit with a Poison Jab, but we go for Dragon Dance, and then we simply use Outrage, as it's a very powerful move, and now we outspeed and everything. Next up though is going to of course be Annihilate. here we get taken down after doing a little bit of damage, so we have to switch in Espeon. And Espeon, of course, is going to be really powerful here, given that we have Psychic on it and Stab. So we go for a Psychic here, it takes down Annihilate. Also, the same thing goes for the Lucario after about 2 Psychics, and we do take a Dark Pulse to the face, but 2 Psychics is all that's necessary to take down the Lucario as well, leaving Passimian as her last regular Pokemon, and now all that she has left is the Revavroom. So what do? Well, we go for Psychic again, baby. It goes for Shifting Gears, which is going to increase its speed, which is a little bit annoying, but, you know, it is what it is, and its attack's going to go up. But we just go for Psychic here, which takes half its HP down, so it's not the end of the world. High Horsepower comes out, but we switch in our boy Charmander, aka the Charizard. We go for 2 Air Slashes here. The first one hits really hard, but it's not enough to take down the Starmobile, so we go for a second one, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We've defeated Eri, the last Team Star boss, and that also means we've completed all the missions in the game. And man, this is way longer than it used to be in Kanto, but hey, at the end of the day, we've completed that journey. Now we gotta go deal with some sketchy people. Okay, I guess it's about time we battle the sketchy biker guy. Oh, never mind, it's Clavel. All right, well, it is what it is. Let's just do it. So, first up is going to be Oranguru. Here we go for a double crunch with the help of our boy Arcanine. However, we do get drowsy and eventually fall asleep, but we managed to take down the Oranguru before that. So, when the Houndoom comes out, we're able to give or take, right? Just give or take, wake up just in time to do an extreme speed, but then, of course, our boy falls to a Thunderfang. So, we have to switch in Charizard with the Rock Tomb. We also had to take a Dark Pulse to the face, but it doesn't really matter. Next up, however, is going to be Abomasnow. Here, I think we actually are able to get a single hit off that just pretty much takes down Abomasnow, because, I mean, it is going to be extra weak against us, so it is gone. However, Poltegeist is out next. So what do we do here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we start with a Flamethrower just to do a little bit of damage to it, except this thing is going to go for Shell Smash, which is really annoying because it's going to boost its special defense, special attack, special everything. It's just becoming very special, and then the Shadow Ball comes out and takes us down. But fear not, because we're going to send this teapot back to the Galar region where it belongs with the help of a Bullet Punch. And next up is going to be, of course, the Amoonguss. And here what we do is we actually, I think, go for a Swords Dance. I'm not sure if we went one or twice, two times here, but we do go for the Swords Dance, though, to make sure we can do a lot more damage. So we hit the Amoonguss with a Bullet Punch, and then I realized, wait a minute, we can go for another Swords Dance because this thing doesn't do any damage with the Hex. So, of course, let's do that. The Hex hits us again here, but like I said, it doesn't really matter because we're able to now at least do, like, some of that spicy amounts of damage. So next up, of course, is going to be Quaquaval. We go for the Bullet Punch, which, thanks to the Swords Dances, even though it's not very effective, it still does a lot of damage. So when the Aqua Step comes in, it does take us down, which is fine. So what do? Well, we switch in our Dragonite, our Dragon Boy. We go for a Wing Attack. We survive an Ice Spinner, which is really sketchy because, yes, of course, Dragon types are weak against Ice, but we managed to do that. And ladies and gentlemen, we've beat Clavel as well, which means, guess what? We've completed that part of the journey, but if he's not Cassiopeia, then who actually is? Well, it turns out that the real Cassiopeia is none else than the most annoying character in this game, Penny. So the battle ensues. First up is going to be Umbreon, who we try to close combat and extreme speed all the way down. However, after a few hits, we do get it, but we make sure to switch our boy out and into Pikachu just to sacrifice against the Vaporeon, because we'll need our crunches and stuff on Arcanine later on. So instead, we got our boy here with Psychic, aka Espeon comes out. So we do a lot of damage here. We get lucky that the Vaporeon misses one of its Hydro Pumps, and we take it down. Same thing for Leafeon. About 2 hits come in, or, well, 1 hit, and then we have to rely on Arcanine again. And Arcanine also does a lot of damage to the Jolteon, but this thing hits us with Thunder, and I don't know what it is, man, but this thing just has incredible accuracy. So Flamethrower from our boy Charizard comes in, and then we Rock Throw on the Flareon, trying to take it down a little bit. It goes for Flare Blitz, which does a ridiculous amount of damage against the Fire type, but it is what it is, I guess. Here we try to take it down, but it doesn't work, so we go in and Swords Dance, I think not Swords Dance, Dragon Dance, actually, on Dragonite, which is fine because the recoil of Flareon takes itself out. We go for Ice Spinner on the Sylveon because we know we're going to lose Dragonite anyways, but at least let's do a little bit of damage because we only really have, like, what, 1 Pokemon left at this point, which, of course, is our ace Pokemon, Scizor, but guess what? It is good that we did a little bit of damage because then the Bullet Punch is secured, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have completed the Starfall Street journey. We've done it. We've pretty much finished all that you could do in this journey, and we've completed all that. So we also received Draco Meteor, which is very nice. And yeah, that's it, ladies and gents. That's one part of the story done. However, now we got to go over and deal with Arven. And okay, so we're at Pocopath, and I guess we're going to be helping you break into the building. Because we're criminals? Well, I mean, I don't really know. Your mom's kind of hot, dude. I'll kill you. Okay, seems Asada wants us to dive deeper into Area 0, but before we do that, we'll be needing to battle Arven to prove ourselves. So, we start off the battle against Arven, of course, with Dragonite, going for the Dragon Dance, making sure that we have the extra speed and damage as we go for Outrage against the Greddent. Now, this thingy falls right away, and same thing almost for Garganicle, but this thing actually, well, we don't end up getting it because it hits it with the Stone Age, and we were also paralyzed, so we lose there. So we switch in Pikachu, go for the Trailblaze, which does the job. However, we then lose to a Toad Scroll, so Flare Blitz from Arcanine has to come in, and then Psychic on the Cloyster 2 times is all that's necessary to take it down with Espeon. Same thing goes here for Scovillain. We do about, I think, 2 or so, maybe even 3 Psychics, but eventually does get taken down, leaving only Mabustive to be just pretty much finished off by our friend Charizard. So yeah, we're very close here to actually losing with it. I do think we get a Flamethrower in, which does almost just enough damage to defeat it, but we do get crunched, so a Bullet Punch is pretty much all that's necessary to win this. So yeah, Arven is done, which means also this part of our journey is done, ladies and gents. Path of Legends has been completed, which means we gotta head over and do some more sketchy stuff. So we are gonna be taking on the Elite Four, ladies and gents. Of course, Geta is gonna be greeting us outside, and now it's time to do a puzzle. You know, back in my days, we had to go through a victory road and take on a bunch of annoying trainers, but now I just have to answer questions. And actually, we do get these right off the bat, but we are going to be finally battling someone. It is Rika of the Elite Four, who's going to be coming up first, a user of Ground-type Pokemon, who starts off with a Whiscash, which we get taken down with only 2 Psychics, which is great. Same thing goes with the Doug Trio here, taken down with a single Psychic, a one-hit KO. We do have Sandstorm up, though, which is a problem, and for Camera Up, we almost get it as well here. It does put us to sleep, but eventually, thankfully, the Psychic hits, and yeah, we get 3 with just our Espeon, which is crazy. Donphan, however, does come in with Earthquake and take us down, so we're gonna have to switch in someone else to make sure this does end up in our favor. So we go into Arcanine, we get the Crunch off. I'm hoping there that we would get a flinch, but it doesn't end up happening, so we end up losing it. And then, of course, we put in Scizor with the Bullet Punch and Scizor being enough to take it down. We go for Swords Dance against the Clotsire as we try to just power ourselves up to make sure we can take this thing down, as the Earthquake is not gonna do enough damage to take us down. So we go for the finally Exegor, but the Protect comes in, which stops us from defeating it. But don't worry, we're gonna eventually get it, because the second time around, we do hit it. However, it is not enough to defeat it. The Earthquake, we do tank. I mean, I love Scizor, man. It's such a strong Pokemon. And the second Exegor comes in, and there it is. That's the first battle. However, next up is this short little twerp known as Poppy. So let's see what she's got. Well, it's a whole team of Steel type. First up is going to be Copperaja. Here we kick off, of course, with our Arcanine, because this thing is going to be weak against any of our Fire type moves. Plus, we have Intimidate. We go for a close combat because it's going to do a lot of damage. And if we had gone for Flare Blitz, I was scared that maybe we'd die to a Horsepower because of, you know, the recoil damage. But that's not a problem. We go for the Crunch. It ends up defeating the Copperaja. Next up, though, against the Bronzong, we do switch over to our boy Scizor after doing a little bit of work with Arcanine. And instead here, we Swords Dance 2 times because we can, again, just take all these hits from the Earthquakes. It's just not enough to take us down. So 3 times Swords Dance, and then it's time to sweep through her team. Exegor on the Bronzong takes it down. Then for the Corviknight, we're lucky that it goes for Iron Defense instead of trying to hit us. So we're able to actually take it down with a second Iron Head, which is just perfect. But then we also have a freaking Magnezone, which goes for Light Screen, but that's not a problem because we're using, well, physical moves for the most part, so we're fine. And with Tinkaton, we go for Exegor. There's a lot of damage, and we try to finish it off here with an Exegor, but we don't outspeed. But eventually we do get a hit, which means we've defeated Poppy. That is the second Elite Four down. But who is left, though? It's a legend. It's a man, the myth. It is Larry, ladies and gentlemen. This man is back. I freaking love Larry, but somehow he's going to lose to us twice. So we kick off against Larry, and of course he's going to be using flying types. Tropius is up first, but because it has that secondary grass typing, it does get taken down straight away. However, Staraptor is out next, and here we try to go for a few crunches. I mean, Staraptor is just annoying, man. The Brave Bird comes in. We don't end up defeating it, and we end up actually recoil killing our own Pokemon. So we go for Rock Tomb, and it's enough from Charizard to take down the Staraptor. Now there is a few more Pokemon left. For example, we've got an Oricorio here. We lower its speed with a Rock Tomb. It goes for Tether Dance, which gets us confused, so we are in a bit of a risky spot, but Revelation Dance doesn't kill us, so we're lucky the Air Slash hits, and that's that for that one. Next up, though, is going to be Altaria. Here we do a little bit of damage, Rock Tomb, lower its speed and whatnot. However, we end up defeating it eventually with the help of Dragonite, with leaving only Flamigo left to be taken down by, I think, about 1 or 2 Wing Attacks and Ice Spinner at the end there. So there it is. Larry is defeated, leaving only 1 Elite Four left to go. It's going to be none else than, of course, Hassel, the most, well, hassly person to deal with. I mean, he has dragon types. Come on, man. They're just annoying. But we are lucky, though, because we got Dazzle Gleam on our Espeon. We don't really have any, fairy type, so to say, but thanks to Dazzle Gleam, we're able to do at least a little bit of damage against his fur Pokemon, and for Haxorus, we take it down with a wing attack from Dragonite, and then Ice Spinner on Flapple deletes it pretty much from this existence. And Dragalge here is, well, it's going to poison us because of Poison Point, which is a little bit frustrating, and the Dragon Pulse is going to pretty much destroy our friend here. However, we go in with Pikachu, we survive one of these hits, which is enough to actually, I think at this point I was trying to paralyze it, but it didn't work. We go for Bullet Punch, which takes Dragalge down, leaving only his, ace Pokemon, Baxcalibur, which goes for Glaive Rush, left to go. We go for Iron Head, and then here I'm a little bit worried about going for another Iron Head. Instead, we go for Bullet Punch to make sure we secure the victory. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Elite Four have been deleted and defeated, which means there is only one person to go. It is KATY, of course, the champion of this game. Also, why is Poppy in the background? That just looks really sketchy. Why is she looking at the battle like that? Either way, here we go, ladies and gents. It is time to battle KATY. So, she starts off, of course, with her Espathra. He, just lowers our special defense here, but it doesn't matter. We go for a Sword Stance, and I think we go for Sword Stance about 2 times here to make sure we have that attack just on our side. It does have Opportunist, which gives it the same stat boost, but it doesn't really matter because it was going for a lot of special attacks, I think. However, Avalugg is up next, and we actually flinch it with Iron Head and then Bullet Punch it. And then the same thing for Gambit here. We try to do as much damage as we can. We survive the Cow hit, or Kouto hit. But eventually we do die to Veluza, meaning we have to use Espeon to finish things off with a bite. Gogoat is up next, though. He goes for Bulk Up, but thanks to the fact that we have a lot of fire types, like Charizard with Flamethrower, it's enough to defeat it. Glimmora is up next. It destroys some of our Pokemon, but a close combat for Arcanine is all that is necessary to defeat the champion. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're done with that. But of course, we are forced to battle Nemona as well. So over here we go, as she has her team ready to bust our ass. But I'm going to be honest, I've only really defeated Nemona about 1 time throughout this whole playthrough, because every time we just struggle against the Lycanroc. I didn't really have the right Pokemon out at the time to defeat it. But eventually, thanks to the fact that we have Scizor now, the Bullet Punch does take Lycanroc down. As for Palmot, I decided to switch in Pikachu and just sacrifice Pikachu in this case, just so we don't lose the Scizor, because it will be more useful later. Instead, Flare Blitz from, of course, Arcanine is enough to defeat it, leaving only really a few more Pokemon to go, like Orthworm, the Schlong Boy, which we defeat. Then we switch in we switch in Scizor against Gudra. We Swords Dance to set ourselves up a few times, and then Bullet Punch comes in and does a lot of damage 2 times in a row, and there it is. Then we have Dunsparce, which luckily, for it actually avoids our attack. The Drill Run doesn't do enough damage, but our Bullet Punch is not enough to defeat it, so Dragonite comes in with the Dragon Dance, and then, of course, the Outrage, which destroys the Dunsparce, which is really a weird Pokemon, and a single Outrage against the Meowscarada defeats it, which also means, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Nemona. Why are you crying? Oh, never mind, she's not crying. Either way, ladies and gents, we've defeated Nemona, and the Victory Road is completed, which means we gotta go the way home. So we gotta go and find out what's happening in Area 0. Of course, we yeet our way to the bottom. We deal with the different Pokemon all around the different bases, like, for example, this random Jigglypuff-looking thing, same thing with the Donphan-looking thing, and then eventually we make our way down to the bottom, where the core is. Now, the question is, what's happening inside of there? Well, it turns out there is an AI Sada. Well, that explains a lot of the weird shit that's been happening, but it is what it is. She wants to battle us to, make us stop her from taking over the world, something along those lines. I mean, hey, we're used to this as Red. But either way, she starts off with, of course, this Paradox Slitherwing. This thing, he hits us with a lunge at this point, and it just does a lot of damage. We try to get it paralyzed, and the lunge defeats us, but that's fine. We go in with the Dragon Dance on Dragonite, twice actually in a row here, giving us a lot of power. So Wing Attack comes in, Slitherwing is gone. Same thing here goes for the Scream Tail. We go for the Ice Spinner, but it's not enough because, of course, this thing is Fairy type, it's going to destroy us. However, Bullet Punch against both the Scream Tail and the Fluttermane is enough to defeat them, and Brute Bonnet even falls to an Exeter because we did a few Swords Dances, so we are super strong here. Sadly, Shocks, however, that one is too difficult, so, the Psychic has to come in from our friend Espeon, where Espeon falls to the big boy here because of, I think, a Night Slash. So Roaring Moon is eventually defeated as well. It does take a bit of time, okay? It is very risky here, but the Extreme Speed does come in, and we make sure to defeat it, which means, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed our journey. That is it. We have completed Send Sada away, or the AI Sada into a strange, I don't even know what to call this. What even is this thing? Either way, we've done that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We have completed the game with Red's team and as Red. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.